Hello guys, welcome to Hankins Custom Rifles and another episode of Hank's TV. Today is December the 8th, 2019. I'm down here at the river bottoms. I've been working on my shooting house a little bit. I put up an extra shelf in here to keep some stuff up off the floor and give me some more room here on the shooting bench. We've got 1 week before the Kentucky muzzleloader season opens up, and I would think that about 80% of the Kentucky deer hunters are done deer hunting. Most of them just come out for the gun season, and after that's over with, they're done. So I didn't kill a deer during gun season. I didn't get to hunt very much, but I did hunt a few times, and I spent a lot of my time hunting down here, trying to shoot these deer at long distances, but I just didn't get it done. We had interferences with cows coming out into the field every night. The cow is still running loose, but we have contacted the local authorities, and they're going to make sure that the cow's put up by this hunting season, or else I have the right to capture the cow and take it to stockyards and sell it. I don't know that I'm going to do all that, go to that trouble. That's a lot of work for me. I don't have time to capture cows and load them in trailers and take them to the stockyards, but we've got to do something about this cow. But to make a long story shorter, to get off on a different subject, we're down here, and I built this shooting house for one reason, and that is to provide myself a place to shoot 1,000 yards. And we can shoot 1,000, I believe it's 1,059 yards. I think I said 1,150 on another video, but now that I'm up here and I can actually range it, we're getting 1,059 yards. So last weekend I came down here and I set up a corn feeder at 1,000, and I think it's 29 yards. And we're going to verify that next week. I've got a new rangefinder coming. I bought a SIG Helios, I think is how you pronounce it, 2400, and it's supposed to be the top of the line. It'll beat this little rangefinder I'm using now. So we're going to verify the yardage with the new rangefinder. It was supposed to came in Wednesday. It didn't come. Thursday it didn't come. Friday it didn't come. Saturday I couldn't pick it up at the UPS because they're not open. Today is Sunday. Tomorrow will be Monday, and I'm going to go get that rangefinder tomorrow, and then come back down here one day next week, verify these ranges, maybe take a few more test shots and make sure that what we're shooting at is doable. So I've got targets scattered out throughout this field now. One is at 600 yards, and I wanted it to be at 500, but we couldn't get it because there's a dip at 500 yards. It was either going to be at 4 or 6, so I put it out at 6 because I know 400 yards is easy. We put that one at 6. We've got one at 750, and I've got one right next to the corn feeder at like 1,028. We shot those the other day when I set them up, and I didn't have any problem hitting the gongs at those distances all the way to 1,000 yards. We didn't have any problem to get there. I'm going to shoot them again today and just practice. You know, you can't get good at something if you don't practice. So you can't just go out, set up, and expect to shoot a deer at 1,000 yards. It's not going to happen. You got to practice and practice, and I'm going to practice some more before the season comes in. Hopefully those deer will get accustomed to coming in at 1,000 yards and eating that corn. Now this whole cornfield has got corn all over it, so I don't know if I can attract them to that location, or if they're just going to do what they always do and meander around all these fields here and eat whatever they're eating. So another thing I want to talk to you about real quick is the video camera. The video camera that I use is a Canon XA20. It's a high quality, high definition video camera. It's got 20 power zoom, and I think it's got like 96 power digital. So it's 20 power optical and 96 digital. We try not to get into the digital zoom when we're zooming in on these targets because it breaks it all up and gets it pixelated. So I ordered a new lens for my camera. And this lens has a lot of reviews online, and I read a lot of them, and a lot of the reviews were bad. And I hate to say that, but I bought the lens anyway because the guy at the place I bought it from, B&H Photo, said it was a good quality lens and that I would like it. And the reason a lot of people don't like it is they put it on their camera and then they try to do something close up like where I'm at right now. It's not going to work because you get this tunnel effect. The lens is made for long range, way out there. So when you put the lens on, you can't expect it to work close up. So what this lens does, this was a $400 lens, and it's going to, actually it was a little more than that. It's going to give me 1.5 times more zoom on my camera. So what my 20 optical was, it should be now 35 optical, and it should help us bring those deer in a little closer so that you guys can see it on the video camera. I know I'm going to make this video, these deer, and if you can't see it, it ain't going to be any fun to watch. So we're going to put this lens on the camera here in a minute. We're going to test it out down here today. That's what this today is for. It's for testing. We're going to test the rifle. We're going to test this new camera lens. Now, I did have a guy here a while back left me a real nasty comment on my YouTube channel. And he told me in so many nasty words that why don't I get a camera worth a dang? Because you can upload better quality video with a cell phone. In so many words, that's what he said. Well, I didn't even approve the video because it was so nasty of the way he said it that I wasn't going to approve that comment. I read all my comments, and if you're nasty, I don't approve them. If they're cussing me out, if they're calling me names, I don't approve them. If they don't like what I'm doing, they don't have to like it. That's fine. But you don't have to be nasty about it. So anyway, I did a little research, and I came to find out that my editing software allows you to upload videos in different formats. And I was in the default format on the editing software, so I'm uploading all these videos in a real low quality video resolution. So now I have learned how to upload in a high definition 1080p, and the video quality from here on out, this video included, if you look at this video and go back and look at one of my older videos, you should see the difference in the quality of the video itself. So we're now uploading all videos from here on out in a 1080p format so that you guys will be able to see a lot better. I didn't know that, fellas. I'm not a videographer, never had any training in none of that kind of stuff. I just bought a video camera, turned it on, and started using it. So if, you know, some of you guys out there that know more than I do about this kind of stuff, just let me know, and I'll do everything I can to research it and learn it and figure out what I was doing wrong. But try to do it in a nice way. You don't have to be that guy that basically told me every which way that he could that I was doing everything wrong. And hey, I'm a rifle builder, old school machinist. I'm not a computer videographer, don't know all that kind of stuff, but hey, we can learn it. That's what we're here for, to learn. So I'm going to go out and we're going to zoom in on the 1,000-yard target, and we're going to look at it, compare it without the lens. Then I'm going to put the lens on, and we're going to zoom in on that 1,000-yard target again and compare it. And I'm going to zoom in as close as I can get to it. And you guys can look at that and see if you can see the difference in your camera or on your television, on your cell phone, on your computer screen, whatever you might be watching these YouTube videos on. And let me know down there in some comments if this lens makes a difference, if it was worth the money. $450, I believe, is what this cost me. So let me know if it was worth the extra money and if it makes a difference on your particular viewing apparatus. So here we go. We're going to swing out there. We're going to zoom in at 1,000 yards, and we're going to get on that target. So I'm going to walk on over here to the camera, and we're going to zoom it in there. I'm just going to move the camera around real quick. And I'm going to slowly zoom in out there. You can see all three of my gongs now. The yellow one is at 600 yards. I ran out of white paint, so I had to paint that one yellow. The next one's at 750. And the farthest one out there is 1,000. That is my maximum zoom right there, fellas. That's all I got. So, I mean, if there was a deer standing out there, you'll be able to see it. I can shoot it, and you can see me shoot the thing. But it'll be better once we put this lens on, or we hope it'll be better. So you see the white gong out there at 1,000 yards, and beside it, almost in the middle of your screen, is my corn feeder. I put it about 30 yards away from the corn feeder, and to practice. I didn't want the bullets splattering on the steel gong and going over, ricocheting and hitting my corn feeder, because it is right in line with the corn feeder. If the deer are standing at the corn, if they're at the corn feeder and they're eating, and I can hit that gong during practice, I should be able to hit that deer during hunting season. So we're going to turn the camera off. I'm going to screw the lens on. I'm not going to adjust the focus or anything yet, or the zoom. I'm just going to turn the camera off, screw the lens on, and turn the camera back on and see if you guys can tell an immediate difference. So here we go. So there it is, fellas. I just screwed the lens on. It looks like I can see a difference here in the viewfinder. So hopefully you guys can see a difference on your viewing screen. And now I'm going to zoom back out to get the widest field of view, and we're going to see if we can tell what that guy was talking about, the tunnel vision. Yes, sir, I can see the tunnel vision coming in there. So that's what he's talking about with the tunnel vision, because you've got another lens mounted on the front of your original lens, and it's focusing down, so it's seeing through the tube of the magnifier. So when we're using this lens, we're going to stay zoomed in at least to here, because we don't want to see the circle. So somewhere in there and more. But there's our maximum zoom, and looks pretty good to me. So now we're going to do some test firing. Okay guys, we're going to take our first shot. We've got the rifle loaded, the muzzle loader, and I've got my scope adjusted for the distance that we're going to shoot. We're going to shoot that yellow target, and that is 600 yards. Let's see if we can hit that this afternoon. Okay, I'm aiming dead into the center of it. I can see a little wind flag tied on the target, and it's whipping around pretty good, but I'm going to aim right in the middle, and let's see if we can hit it. I don't know if you guys can see the bullet hole, but we definitely hit it, and I hit about maybe 2 inches low and an inch or two to the right of where I was aiming. So I was dead centered in the target. The wind blew us just about 2 inches, so not a whole lot of effect right now with the wind. We're going to load up and do that again. Okay guys, I'm loaded up again, ready to go. We're going to shoot that yellow target one more time. That is 600 yards. And I'm going to aim right in the center to get a good estimation on how much the wind's blowing. So here we go, fellas. Okay, that second shot is about an inch, maybe less, away from the first shot. So we've got about an inch group so far at 600 yards. We're going to load up. We're going to shoot one more at 600. I'll be right back with you. Okay guys, I'm loaded up again, ready to go. Round number 3 at 600 yards. That one pulled out a little bit more. We're down to about a 3-inch group now at 600 yards. That one shot a little bit further to the right. So the wind is blowing from left to right. So the wind's getting us a little bit. We're going to take just a break for a few minutes, and then we're going to jump out there and shoot that 700-yard target and see how we do on it. 750-yard target, I should say. So we'll be back in a minute. Okay fellas, we're set up. We're now ready to shoot at 750 yards. I don't know if you can see them or not in the camera there, but we've got a bunch of turkeys out there right now eating my corn at 1,000 yards. But we're going to shoot the 700 yard. We're going to shoot the 700-yard target, 750 yards I should say. And I'm going to hold about 3 inches of wind. Okay fellas, I don't know if you can see that. I hope you can, but that was a dead center punch. At 750 yards, I held 3 inches of wind to the left because I knew the wind was going to blow my bullet to the right. It was moving us about 2 inches at 600 yards. When I jumped out to 750, I gave it an extra inch. So what we're going to do now is jump on out to the 1,000-yard target and see if we can hit it. So let me get loaded up and I'll get back with you guys. That shot didn't even phase those turkeys. They just kept right on eating. Okay fellas, we're loaded up again. Turkeys are still out there and we're going to shoot 1,000 yards. I'm going to hold about 6 inches to the left of where I want to hit on this target because the wind blowing. So here we go. And that was a pretty good shot. It's just a little bit high. I needed about 2 more inches of wind to get dead center, so I'm a little high and a little right. So we're going to load it up again and make another shot. Okay fellas, we're loaded up again for the 1,000-yard gong. This is with a muzzle loader. Some of you new guys that's watching this channel or this video, this is a muzzle loader. This is Cyclops, the world's most powerful 45 caliber muzzle loader that I know of. So we're shooting steel gongs at 1,000 yards and we're not having any problem hitting the gong. We're going to go with a shot number 2 and I'm going to put about 2 more inches of wind on it. I'm going to have my elevation exactly the same and we'll see what we get. Okay, fellas, that's almost in the exact same spot. I'm talking within 1.5 inches at 1,000 yards. So we're shooting so far pretty good group. I did hold just a little bit more wind, and that turned out to be a good decision. I am shooting a little bit high, so I might need to take a 1/4 MOA out of my scope here. I may be too high. We're going to shoot one more to verify this before I make a decision on whether I need 16.5 minutes or 16.25. Back in the summer, I was shooting 1,000 yards with 15.5 minutes, but this colder temperature, I'm up at 16.5, and that's a little too much. Give me a minute to get reloaded. We'll be back on camera. Okay, fellas, I'm loaded up again, ready to make the third shot at 1,000 yards. We're going to shoot the same hold. I'm going to hold the same wind. I'm going to try to maintain that group and see what we can get. Now, we are a little bit high, so I can always take one click out of the scope and get down there where I need to be. But for now, we're just trying to establish a baseline of where these bullets are going. So here we go with shot number 3, 1,000 yards. That's amazing, fellas, that I can shoot the gun, get back on the gun after the recoil, and see the bullet hit the 1,000 yards, and then hear it. So it takes all that time for it to get out there, and then takes all that time for it to get back. And the bullet's actually going almost 4 times the speed of sound, and by the time it hits a target, it's still 2 times the speed of sound. So that takes all that time for that target, that sound, to get back to us. I don't know if you can hear it through the video camera, but the group is unbelievable. I might drive out there if it ain't too dark and show you this target. That group is almost unbelievable at 1,000 yards with a muzzleloader. And we are high, so I'm going to take one click out of it. We're going to shoot a couple of more shots, and I'm going to call it a day. I think what I came down here to accomplish today, I have accomplished, and we've only got maybe 20-30 minutes of good daylight left. So I'm going to get 2 more shots downrange with 1/4 minute less on the scope, and let's see what happens. And you can see that the shooting does not affect those turkeys that much because they're still out there eating. Let me get loaded up. I'm just going to leave the camera running this time while I load the gun. It doesn't take very long to get loaded. We do have the magnifying lens on the camera, and it does make a pretty good difference as far as how much you guys can see through the camera. Now I'm using one of my range rods to load this gun with, and they're available on the website at hanksprecisiongunparts.com. And the ramrod is attached to the gun. It's still on the gun. I just want to bring that to your attention that some muzzleloader builders out there will preach to you, don't put a ramrod on the gun, buy a 3-piece, don't put it on the gun, carry it separate. they want to tell you that it affects accuracy, but I'm here to tell you that it does not, because I just shot a 3-inch group at 1,000 yards with the ramrod attached to the gun, and if it affected accuracy or harmonics or these nodes that people talk about, if it had anything to do with that, I don't believe I can shoot a 3-inch group at 1,000 yards. So if you guys want a ramrod on your gun, and I highly recommend it, it's not a muzzle loader if it don't have a ramrod on the gun. Some guns you don't have a choice. You have to have a 3-piece rod, like the CVA Scout conversions. You can't put a ramrod on those. But on a muzzle loader that's supposed to have a ramrod, just go ahead and have the ramrod put on it. So we are loaded back up. That's how long it took. I've actually been loaded for a few minutes, or a minute. We're going to take 1 click out of the scope. I'm going to go down to 16.25 minutes for a 1,000-yard shot, fellas. This is going to be the last shot of the day, I think. I'm going to hold the same amount of wind that I've been holding. And here we go, fellas. Okay, 1/4 minute click did not make a bunch of difference for me. It should have, but I hit almost in the same spot. Yeah, actually 1/4 minute is not much out there, because I'm looking through my scope now and I'm moving it 1/4 click. 1 click, 1/4 minute, back and forth, and I'm watching the scope, the crosshairs go up and down, and they're not moving that much. So we're going to go down to 16 minutes. It's actually getting so dark in here I can't see. It's daylight outside, but it's getting dark in this shooting house. Okay, we're going to load up and we're going to shoot one more shot real quick with 16 minutes and see what we can do here. Got one more powder charge laying out here and one more primer module, so I might as well shoot it. I'll call it a day. I'm going to come back over one day next week before the season opens and practice a little bit more. So we're loaded back up again. That's how long it takes to load these muzzle loaders. I can load one in less than a minute and be back on the target. Now, the only bad thing about the muzzle loaders are you have to completely take them off your sandbag or your bench rest setup, whatever you're using, lead sled, whatever. And when you put it back, it's always in a different spot. I mean, sometimes it can move by feet. like it did just then. I have to now crank up my elevation several feet. Okay, we're back on. I'm ready to make my shot. I just got to put my earplugs in. And here we go. We're at 16 minutes now. And I do believe that that is about what I need. That one actually dropped a little bit low. So without doing some more testing, I'm going to call that we're done for the day. I'm not going to shoot any more today because we're wasting time and ammo. I'm going to repaint those targets so that when I do it again the next time, I've got something to go by. We're starting to get a couple splatters on there. I shot that target a few times last weekend when I put the corn feeder out. So we've already practiced twice. This is our second time down here practicing. We're going to practice again another day next week. I think I'm going to put out some wind flags so that I can tell which way the wind's blowing. That'll definitely help me. But for now, we're shooting from some pretty awesome groups, and what we're going to do, we're going to run out there. If I can get everything out of this shooting house before it gets too dark, we're going to run out there to the 1,000-yard target, take a quick look at it. I want to show you the group that we have on there. So I'm going to turn the camera off for now, remove the telephoto lens, load up the stuff, get it down to the truck, and we're going to head out to that target. So hang tight, and I'll be right back with you. Okay guys, we're down here at the 1,000-yard target, and this is it. It's 24 inches square, or roughly 24 inches square. We made these into like a little man shape a long time ago. I haven't used this target much, but it is AR 500 steel, so we can shoot these and not shoot holes through them. But here's what we shot today. I'm going to go over this with you. I hope you can hear me. The camera's a little bit far away, but we're going to go over this real quick. These right here is the first 3 shots today out of the gun. 1, 2, and 3. That's the first 3 shots right there. I was holding about 8 minutes of wind, so I was holding right along the middle of this gong. So it really wasn't an aiming point to aim at. I'm just holding over here and trying to get my bullets in the kill zone on a deer. I'm figuring that this right here is a kill zone on a deer. I remember the days when guys was happy if they could hit a pie plate at 100 yards. I'm happy if I can hit the pie plate now at 1,000, and it looks like I can do a whole lot better than that considering this 3-shot group. That 3-shot group is less than 3 inches. That's 1,000 yards, less than 3 inches. I made that 1/4 minute click adjustment, and this was the shot right here. I made another 1/4 minute shot, and that's it. That's the shot right there. So here is a 1/2 minute. Here's a 1/4 minute. I do believe the 1/4 minute is what I need. So next week when I come down here and practice some more, I'm going to practice with 16 1/4 minute MOA. I'm going to practice that. Figuring out the elevation and the drop on these bullets is easy. That's going to be consistent. That's going to be the same day in and day out most of the time. It's the wind that's going to get you. Right now, wind ain't blowing. It's almost dark. The sun's going down. The wind ain't blowing. That's going to be perfect timing for my deer shot next week. There was 3 deer standing right here on this hill, not 100 yards from the corn feeder. So they were on their way out here to get something to eat. But I had to get out of here. I didn't see them until we were coming up here to the target. Next weekend we can shoot the deer. This weekend we can only shoot steel. So I got to get some good practice time in so that I can make a good shot on the deer. Now, here's my cell phone. This is an iPhone 10 I've had now for a couple years, and I can cover all 3 of them shots with this iPhone. That gives you an idea how big that group is. I can cover them with my fingers. 3 shots, 1,000 yards, less than 3 inches. Throw the 4th shot in there with a 1/4 MOA adjustment. Still almost 3 inches. Maybe it's less than 4. I don't have a tape measure, but that's less than 4. And this shot here and this shot here was from last weekend when I first set these up, and I was shooting in a really windy conditions, and I just quit. I decided to come back over here late in the afternoon when I'm going to be deer hunting and get some realistic time. So here's what we've got. There's the corn feeder right there, and hopefully next week we can kill a deer at 1,000 yards and get it on video camera. So for now, we're going to sign off. I want to thank you guys for watching my YouTube videos. I want to ask you to give me a thumbs up on the videos, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and just hang in there, and we'll be back with you with another video from Hankins Custom Rifles. Talk to you later. See you.